We have the parties identified.
Julie Panger with the department. Also present is St. Francis Permanency Supervisor Todd Cogdill.
Greg Johnson, attorney ad litem for the child.
Okay, Mr. Cogdill, tell me about Naomi. I know that we just had this final hearing and we were in a foster home doing well. Any placement changes since then? Mr. Johnson, any concerns regarding Naomi?
No, Your Honor.
She's in the same foster home as far as we know?
As far as I know, and I was going to ask if there was any movement towards the adoption when the caseworker got on board.
Permanency specialist Florissette told me that they had sent the ICPC for and that they were waiting for it to come back.
An ICPC on who?
Was it? Oh, I'm sorry, I opened up the wrong report. You're a judge. She is doing good. I didn't receive any updates from permanency specialist Rhea about pending documents for the subsidy packet. If this is for the adoption she told me about.
Okay, let's see if we can get the worker online because we'll come back to Naomi. All right, Aubrey, this is a permanency hearing and cause number. Let me have the parties identified.
Julie Panger with the department. Also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Garrett Killo.
Jim Shaw, attorney ad litem.
McKenna Shelton Casa.
Okay, Mr. Killo, tell me how Aubrey is doing. Still with grandma?
Absolutely, she's doing great, and we have good news. Carla Marshall has the adoption assistance packet, so we're just waiting for her to have time to go out there and negotiate with grandma. And once that happens, we can set an adoption hearing.
Okay, very good. Is Aubrey healthy? Any sort of medical problems at all?
No, ma'am, no problems. She just turned 12, so she went and got her shots for that, and she has no medical concerns. She's been doing great in school. She's doing good on her medication. She is doing good with her grandma. She was telling me last time I was out there that they go out and go walking around the lake near their house to get a little exercise and hang out. And so really she's doing fantastic where she is.
Okay, she is in therapy with Dr. Wilbanks?
Yes, Your Honor, and that happens once a month. I've talked to Dr. Wilbanks several times about that, and she has no concerns about Aubrey. I think she was just kind of carrying her until the adoption is consummated. I think Aubrey enjoys going in there and talking to her. Dr. Wilbanks says she kind of talks her ear off, so I think that's going well, and Dr. Wilbanks is just kind of just letting her keep coming until adoption is consummated.
Okay, very good. Mr. Shaw, any concerns with Aubrey?
No, Your Honor. Barbara's already filed the petition and I filed my documents, so we're ready to go.
Casa, concerns with Aubrey?
No, Your Honor. CASA has no concerns with Aubrey right now. We're grateful that we're getting close to the end of this case and just grateful for all of Miss Sophie's work and recommend that she maintain her current placement until adoption occurs.
Okay, if we need another hearing, it'll be April the 8th at 9. But I bet we have an adoption. No, there we go. Look, let me have the parties identified.
Judge, let me check and see. Is Audrey available yet?
I'm covering for Audrey. Julie.
Oh, okay. Julie Panger for the department. Also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Shanika White.
Terry Morganson, attorney and guardian ad litem for the boys.
Okay, tell me where the boys are placed. It looks like from the report that they're still in separate placements. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor. They're still in separate placements. I know both placements are working on adoption. The notes from Ms. Rhea said that they're just waiting on redactions to come back.
For both of them?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Noah is in a family with the Sanchez. There are some concerns on that report, a little bit of defiance going on at home. What are we doing about that?
Can you repeat that, Judge? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Okay, the report indicates that we have some defiance in the home. What are we doing about that?
And the placement is constantly having to redirect. And from what Worker Reyes told me, it's semi-working. They're just working on patients and redirecting.
He goes to weekly therapy where they're working on the it's almost like there are kind of attachment issues, defined issues. He's more defiant with females than he is males. And so we had changed therapists right at the end of the final hearing. And we believe that the new therapist is working, and they're just working through those issues, Judge.
Okay. He does make good grades. He's in the 3rd grade. Any concerns academically with Noah?
No, Your Honor. There's no concerns. He's passing all his classes.
Okay. What about medications?
He is currently on medication for ADHD.
All right. Do we have any issues with the medications?
It appears to be working.
Okay. Okay. And Isaiah is with the Ortiz family, and his behaviors are improving. Is that right?
Yes, sir. They are definitely, yes, ma'am. They're definitely improving.
Okay. And he's in the 2nd grade. Any sort of academic concerns with Isaiah?
No, Your Honor. He's doing good in school. He's passing all his classes.
Okay. Good. Is he on any medications?
He is not.
All right. Do these boys get to see each other?
They do. They are placed about an hour and a half away in both placements.
Shanika, you're on mute.
Sorry.
Okay.
They both are placed about an hour and a half apart. I do know from the sheet that placements do get them together. How often, I'm not sure on that.
It's just major events, like they'll do a Christmas, a Thanksgiving, birthdays. It's not weekly contact, but it is consistent contact.
Okay, good. All right. Ms. Morganson, any concerns with either one of the boys?
No, Your Honor, just ready for them to be adopted, especially Isaiah. He's been in that home for a substantial period of time, and that one, he doesn't have any issues. That adoption needs to be consummated.
Okay. Do we have any medical concerns with either one of the boys?
Other than the ADHD, no, Your Honor.
Glasses and allergies.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Very good. Anything else regarding these 2 boys?
No, Your Honor.
All right. We'll have another review hearing if we need one, April the 8th at 9. Ms. Finger, if I can speed up redaction by doing an order, let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Review hearing April the 8th at 9.
And Judge, I was able to talk to the placement on that case just in the last couple of minutes. So.
Okay. We'll just do it that way. Johnson, you were able
Yeah.
to visit the foster home?
Yes, I spoke with Stacy Turner. They've been in placement for a long time. They were a non-adoptive placement, so there was a plan to switch Naomi to an adoptive placement. That occurred over a 3-week period over the Thanksgiving break. And then the last couple of weeks ago, the new placement is in Anton, Texas, and it's the Cias family, Almita Cias. I reached out to them, but Stacy Turner, of course, is familiar with all of the case and everything, and she said the transition went wonderful. That that Naomi, who was struggling with some of the visits with Miss Guerrero, didn't have any problems at all. Just loved the place, loved the house, loved everything about it. The Turners had gotten very protective of Naomi, and they were quite comfortable with the switch. Like I said, I have a call out to Miss Cias to see how they're doing, but by all accounts, she's doing very well with the new placement, according to Miss Turner.
Ms. Finger, the report didn't reflect a placement change at all. The report indicated we're still in the same foster home that we've been in for over a year. So
Yes, ma'am.
we don't have a worker and we have an outdated report. This is not a good one.
Yes, ma'am.
But I will set another review hearing April the 8th at 9.
And Miss Turner did indicate, I guess, that Aubrey was leaving or has left St. Francis. I'm not sure what the status of that is. That may be part of our problem here.
I'll
certainly.
get it together.
Certainly, Mr. Johnson, if we need another review hearing on Naomi because we need some more up-to-date information, or if there's any concerns with the new placement when you have a chance to visit with them, let me know and I'll set it for another review hearing quickly.
All right, thank you,
Julie
Judge.
Panger with the department, also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Ana Gonzalez.
Leanne Fout for the placement, adoptive placement, the Martinez's present ready.
Oh, Ms. Evelyn is the attorney and guardian ad litem, and she had a conflicting setting today. Okay, the kids are, all 4 kids are still with the grandmother, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor, they're all still before with the paternal grandparents.
Okay, tell me how the children are doing.
They were supposed to get adopted on National Adoption Day, but the grandparents pulled out as the kids had having some concerning behaviors as the adoption date was getting closer. So Mrs. Martinez went ahead and got them diagnosed, and for the longest time, parents still having their rights was one of the drawbacks as to why they couldn't have medication prescribed to them. But now that they're fully under the parents' medical consent, or like they don't have to wait for the parents to say yes or no to their medications, Ms. Martinez was able to get them an appointment, get them new prescriptions, which they're starting to stabilize on. So they're adjusting to that new medicine. They're still having some behavioral problems, mostly jealousy, anger, resentment, still with the adoption, still conflicting issues about wanting to be with the biological parents, even though they understand that they terminated their rights. So it's an adjustment period. The Martinez family wanted to wait a little bit longer before adopting to make sure that their medication had settled and that they were adjusting better before fully adopting, going back with adopting the kiddos.
Okay, we'll come back to all of that. Tell me, health-wise, how are the kids doing? Do we have any medical concerns with any of them?
No, all 4 of them, Maya, JP, Journey, and Gio are current in medical and dental. Gio even got his recent CAN since he turned 3 recently.
Okay. I think I read in the report as far as academics that Maya is struggling a little bit in reading, but that was really the only academic concern I saw in the report. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor, and she receives daily tutoring for that.
Okay. Are all the kids on target as far as academics, right grade level?
Yes, ma'am, they are.
And they're passing their classes?
They are. They struggle, but the tutoring does help. And even though it's, I think Maya said she had maybe 1 C, she was working on it to get to a B at least.
Okay. What do the kids enjoy doing? What do they like to do? And what do they get to do in this home?
Maya recently showed me the baby. She likes real prosthetic babies that look like real babies when I went to go visit her this past week. She got it for her birthday, and she likes showing it to me because I tell her they're like surreal and I don't like it. And she's like, hold my baby. And I was like, okay, I'll hold it. So she's really into her baby right now. She likes mothering it, taking care of it. She wishes she had a younger sibling. That's something she tells me often. I tell her that Journey is just 4 years old now, and she says, no, she's not a baby anymore. So she's doing good. She's getting more into girly stuff and art. She wanted some Copic markers for Christmas. She said that's on her Christmas wish list. JP, when I visited, we play basketball all the time, so we try to shoot hoops, and he tells me how he's doing in school, and he said he was going to try out for basketball again. He's very excited for that because his shots keep getting better and better the farther he gets away. Gio is doing better at daycare. Miss Martinez reports no concerns there, no biting. He's not aggressive anymore. He gets along with everyone. He's picking up words fast now. He's bilingual and can say 1 to 5, up to 10, sometimes in Spanish. And he'll say "¿Qué pasa?" or "hello." He's very he's very sweet when I go visit him. Journey too. She likes to mimic everything everyone says. So when Gio called me caseworker, she started calling me caseworker too until I corrected her and told her my name was Anna. And then she's like, Anna, Anna. So they're doing really good. Journey's just into everything her older sibling does. Whenever they're outside, she comes outside too to play with them. They're all very happy, lovely kids every time I go visit.
Okay. Are they in therapy to try to address some of these anger issues and confusion and anxiety about the adoption?
Yes, Your Honor. Maya and JP have individual counseling with Diane Lara. The past 2 attempts had been in a family therapy session with the grandparents to see if they could address some of the concerns with adoption, but that didn't go well. The kids just didn't participate at all. So they're going to go back to individual and see if she could talk to them more now that the grandparents were around for the family therapy ones.
Okay. Ms. Fouts, tell me from your client's perspective where we are on things at this point.
Well, I think we kind of were trying to push to get them in for National Adoption Day. It kind of happened real quick, and then there was just a little bit of panic. I think it's justified. I'm glad to see we're trying to address the issues. What we don't want is for an adoption to later blow up. So I would rather take it a little bit slow, make sure the kids are stable, happy with the idea of adoption. So, I know we all like to get these adoptions done, but we want to get them done right. So I think just a little more time, we'll get there.
Okay, I'm fine with a little more time. I agree. I want to make sure that it lasts. Okay, anything else on the Martinez-Vasquez kids?
No, ma'am.
Okay, we'll have another review hearing
Julie
April the
Panger with
8th.
the department,
at
also
9.
present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Cody Gardner.
Matt Morrow, trained guardian line present for your
Okay, Mr. Gardner,
Yes, ma'am.
it looks like Malik was moved.
Yes, ma'am, to
because-
his grandmother's.
Okay, and that happened in October?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
He's doing really well there, actually.
All right, we'll get to how he's doing, but let's just briefly address why he was moved.
He was moved because the foster home he was in turned in a 10-day discharge notice due to them saying he had some concerning behaviors and were with the urinating and then also getting aggressive towards his little brother. And then we decided to go with placement at his grandmother's after she signed a safety plan and was agreed to follow it.
Okay, the behaviors that we're talking about that the caregiver gave notice for, are they anything different than what we have been dealing with Malik for the whole case?
No, ma'am. It was just the urinating around the house at different times. And then also they said that he was starting to get a little bit more aggressive with his little brother, running around, bumping into him, hitting him a couple times. And they said that they just weren't prepared to take care of him any longer if he was going to be a harm to their little one.
Okay, how is Malik doing now?
He's doing well. Ever since he's moved with his grandmother, according to Dr. Wilbanks, his behavior has gotten better, and according to his grandmother, his behavior has gotten much better. At this last week with Dr. Wilbanks, we talked about the urination, and even his grandmother said the urination is getting a little bit better. It seems that the main issue right now is that he's terrified in the bathroom, and that he doesn't know what's in there. So they've been working on different ways of facing his fears by praying it before bed at night and letting him know that there's nothing there that's scary, that he's all right to go there, that nothing's going to hurt him. He's been doing well in school. The only problem they have in school right now is with his hyperactivity. He's bad about blurting out answers instead of raising his hand. But the school is addressing that and saying that they're able to handle it.
Okay, academically, does he seem on target?
Yes, ma'am. He's a very bright child.
Good. Is he on any medications?
Yes, ma'am. They got it dialed in over the summer, and he's been on the same medication since August for his hyperactivity and for his insomnia. And ever since they've gotten that on track, his behaviors, especially the aggressive behaviors, have seemed to really lessen. He hasn't gotten in trouble in school at all this year for getting aggressive towards the other kids in his class, his peers, or anything like that, which that was the case in the past.
Okay, so it seems like the bathroom is a trigger for something. Are we trying to get to the bottom of that in
Yes,
therapy?
ma'am. They've been talking about it with Dr. Wilbanks, and right now their main thing is just they're getting him to try to understand that there's nothing scary in there, that it's all in his head. And they've been getting him to pray about it, and also just showing him before he goes in there that the bathroom is fine. There's nothing that's going to hurt him in there.
Okay, but are we getting to the bottom of what's causing what that trigger is about and what happened?
When I last talked to him, he said that some kids at school had talked about the movie It to him and the character in that, Pennywise. And he's worried about that coming out from the drains or the toilet, because apparently that's what happens in the movie, is that he comes through the sewers and gets people.
Okay, is St. Francis looking at maybe doing another home study on Miss
Yes, ma'am.
Ortiz?
On Miss Ortiz, yes, ma'am. And we're looking at, she wants to adopt Malik. So we're getting the ball rolling on the home study and getting her to do all the paperwork she has to get done to get licensed to adopt him.
Okay, I know that Miss Ortiz has wanted to be a placement this whole case.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
at some point, and we had to have a placement hearing on it. So at some point, it was a denied home study. So are
Yes,
we redoing it? Are we doing an addendum? What?
We're redoing it. The problem in the past was that Augustine, the father, was showing up still, and he is no longer in his life, and Miss Ortiz here, she is not talking to him anymore. He is no longer showing up. He even left the church that they were at and going to a different church now.
Okay. Do we have any concerns that Ms. Ortiz has violated the safety plan since placement in October?
There was one investigation to Malik having a black eye, but it was returned as no cause for belief. What happened was he was running back from the bathroom in the middle of the night and didn't pull up his pants and tripped over him. He fell down and hit his face on his bed frame.
Okay.
There was a little bit of concern about his medication not following the guidelines on it, but I've been checking the bottles and making sure that the levels are where they're supposed to be. And since then, she has been on top of when his doses are given and making sure it's the right doses.
Okay, Ms. Ortiz, do you have anything to add?
No, ma'am. Everything's going great with him. He's being
All right. Is there anything that Malik needs?
not right now. No, because he's been blessed with a lot of clothes that people been giving him through the CPS. So he's been blessed.
Okay. Tell me what Malik likes. What does he want to do for fun? What does he like?
He likes to ride his bike a lot, but usually I don't let him too much because he's kind of cool. But we go to the park so he can ride his bike or ride his scooter.
Okay. Very good. All right, Mr. Morrow, any concerns regarding Malik?
I'm really happy with the progress we've had. You know, the case where we're talking about him being smart, he's not just smart, he's like giftedly smart, and that's been some of his issues before. He's a very gifted child and all that. And I'm glad he's with grandmother now. I think he's getting a lot of one-on-one attention, which I think has been very beneficial to Malik. And so I'm very happy. I think that consummating this adoption will be in the best interest, especially since the grandmother's done a very good job of addressing the safety concerns when it comes to Malik's father. So I'm very pleased with the report I read and everything I've heard and seen from Malik since his placement change in October.
Okay, very good. Ms. Ortiz, what about Ms. Flores?
I haven't seen her. I know she got out of jail already, but I haven't seen her. She hasn't tried to call me or nothing. You know, that's best for me because I don't want to be around them because the way I hear, she's still drinking, doing her drugs. So I'm not going to allow my grandson to be around her. That's for sure.
Okay. All right, very good. Ms. Ortiz, I am pleased also. I know that you have fought very hard throughout this case to try to be placement for this little boy, and I'm glad that you're getting a shot at it.
Yes.
And we want our kids with family if possible. So I really hope that this works out. If we need to institute some family therapy to address any behaviors going on, let's not hesitate to get that started. Some separation issues, trauma. It would not surprise me at all if this bathroom thing doesn't have anything to do with the movie It, but rather trauma in his history. So let's just make sure we stay on top of that and certainly provide this family support in terms of all the therapy that they need to make sure this sticks and make sure it's a good placement for him going forward.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to set another review hearing April the 8th at 9.
Hanger for the department. Also present is Todd, who's covering this if Audrey's no longer handling it.
It should be Anna.
Okay. Also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Ana Gonzalez.
Okay, I don't have Miss Murray here either.
Sorry, I'm on, Your Honor. I had muted myself and turned off my camera. Just pulling up her information right now, Your Honor.
Okay, did you
I'm
just
covering Audrey?
All right. The report indicates that she was in the same foster home and that there were no concerns. My question would have been regarding the adoption and the status of that, but
it says here Galileo is.
I mean, I read the report. I don't need the report read to me. I need an updated report on. You just got to figure out what happened with Miss Reyes and who's taking over her cases and make sure these kids get taken care of. Miss Finger, if I need to set all of these for another hearing next week, I'm going to do that because I don't have any confidence that even the report is up to date. So let's see. We got 2. Barrios and Naomi Flores. I might set for another hearing next week. Let me have the parties identified.
Julie Panger with the department. Also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Cody Gardner.
Matt Morrow, attorney guardian ad litem.
Okay. Report indicates that Nehemiah is in the same foster home,
Yes,
doing
ma'am.
well.
He's doing very well. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any health issues?
Not at this time, no, ma'am.
All right. And is he on target? He is just almost 2 years old. Any sort of delays or anything that we're concerned about?
Nothing that's shown up yet, no, ma'am. He's a really bright little guy.
Okay. Any medications that he is on?
Not at this time, no, ma'am.
Miss LaRue is shaking her head yes. Miss LaRue, tell me about his medications.
He has been on 2 types of allergy medications and a nose spray since he was almost 6 months old, and he's going to be seeing an allergist after he turns 2.
Okay. You folks have anything else to add as far as Nehemiah and how he's doing?
No, he's brilliant. All of them are. He is done wonderful. He still attends the same daycare. He loves Mario, talking wonderfully, super social and lovey.
Good. All right. And I did get an email from Ms. Dickerson, and you folks are working towards the adoption, and that's going to happen quickly, it sounds like.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Like this month?
Like January 18th, I think is the date.
Okay.
Is what we're attempting for.
Okay. All right. Mr. Morrow, any concerns regarding Nehemiah?
No, Judge. He's been in the same placement for a very long time. They've done very, very well by him. He's brilliant like his brother. I think the placement change recently is probably in both the boys' best interest. I was looking at my email to see if I've gotten consent from Ms. Dickerson's office. If I haven't got that, I am going to consent to the adoption and all that. But I'm going to look for that and see if I can't get with her office and do that so that this goes smoothly in January. Very looking forward to that for Nehemiah. I know he's in a really, really good spot. He's going to have a good life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Very good. I will set another review hearing April the 8th at 9, but I don't think we will need that. All right. Look forward to getting this adoption done for you folks.
Thank you
so much.
Thank y'all. Y'all are doing the hard work raising a 2-year-old. Okay. We'll see y'all in about a month. Thank y'all.
Also
We'll be
present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Shanika White.
Jana Clift Williams, I'm the attorney ad litem for Hermione.
McKenna Shelton Casa, and also is Lily Camp. She's the advocate on the case.
And Your Honor, we also have placement here. Cassie and Chad Webb.
Okay. Very good. We're still with the Webb family. Tell me how we're doing in that home.
Yes, Your Honor, she is still with the Wet family. She is doing great. She is such a sweet baby, but she is the boss of the home. She's happy. She's thriving. I mean, she is doing amazing.
Okay. She needs surgery. Is that right? It's coming up in January where she's going to get her adenoids out and tubes put in, and hopefully that will help with some breathing issues during the night.
Yes, Your Honor, it's January the 16th.
Okay. And she actually had a sleep study that tells us that she has reactive airway disease.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Do we think that the surgery in January is going to take care of all those concerns?
I'll let Cassie enter that because she knows more about that than I do on a medical standpoint.
All right, Ms. Webb?
It won't take care of all of her breathing problems. The reactive airway disease is basically asthma. They just can't diagnose it as asthma until they can do a pulmonary function test. It should help quite a bit with her sleep apnea. That's what the sleep study showed is she has a pretty severe obstructive sleep apnea.
Okay. Do we have any other medical issues?
No, ma'am.
All right. Other than that, happy, healthy baby.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Very good. Ms. Cliff Williams, any concerns with Hermione?
I have no concerns, Your Honor, at all. She is a beautiful little girl, walking, and she does rule her world.
All right. Ms. Webb, tell me her favorite toy.
Oh, her favorite toy is books. She loves to bring me books. Probably her second favorite is her little baby doll that sings. She was scooting her little booty and dancing this morning to it.
Love it. Okay. Casa, concerns with Hermione.
Lily, there you go.
Sorry. No concerns, Your Honor.
Okay. This is an adoptive placement, and tell me where we are in the adoption. Ms. White, what do we know?
I have requested redaction, so we're waiting on those to come back.
Other than that, we're ready to go.
Yes, ma'am. They have the attorney already picked out. She will not qualify for subsidy, so we're just waiting on those.
Okay. I will set another review hearing April the 8th at 10. Thank y'all. We'll be adjourned.
Julie Panger with the department, also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Destiny Swartz.
Leanne
Enabling
Fouts.
it, Lotto.
Leanne Fouts. I'm here with my client, Francis Zapata.
Kristen Escobar Costa.
Sarah Hudman, attorney for Jeremy Finnan, Billy Maldonado, Jeffrey Romero, and Luis Vasquez.
Enabling it, Lotto.
All right, Miss Casa.
Kristen Escobar Costa, and then we have Shalon Goodley, our advocate, also.
Okay, Ms. Swartz, tell me about, we got 5 kids, lots of different placements, lots of different issues that I saw in the report. So kind of go through the kids and the placements and how they're doing for me.
Yes, Your Honor. So I'll start with Gabriel. We did have a little bump in the road with him. He was moved from Houston RTC, and he was placed here in Lubbock at St. Francis RTC. And as of Saturday night, he ran away from the placement. We have no idea where he's at this time. We have requested SI and law enforcement to be involved. Other than that, he was doing very well in the placement. It was kind of unexpected for us. He was doing really well. He only had 1 incident report, which was Wednesday, and almost a full month of being there, which was really good for him. He was completing his schoolwork. He was so excited that he finished 2 of his classes. His grades were brought back up. I think his lowest grade was either a B or a C. He was engaged in therapy, where he was working on coping skills. He had specific goals that he had in mind for himself, such as using coping skills to help with anger towards, he said, towards family members, and then anger towards wanting to run away, and how to prevent that from happening in healthy ways. Also prevent wanting to use marijuana. He set goals for himself on that as well. Before he ran away, he was up to date on medical and dental. He was taking 3 medications for depression, anxiety, and sleep. And they were reported to be doing well. Next up, we have Paloma. She is still with her Aunt Lenice here in Lubbock, or Aunt Sheila here in Lubbock. She is doing very well there. She has had moments where she's quiet and doesn't want to socialize, but she reports that she likes to sleep and be by herself on most occasions. She's very artistic. She loves to draw. She's very good at drawing. She is still in therapy with Dr. Wilbanks. She's doing very well in therapy. They're working on goals for herself and processing emotions. Dr. Wilbanks did recently recommend moving Paloma down to once a month therapy due to the progress that she's made. Paloma is in school. She says she's doing okay in school. She is struggling a little bit in history and in, I believe it's math, but she's not in any services in school. Next up, we have Becky. She is also placed with Sheila. She is doing okay there. She does have a couple of days a week where she has issues with back talking the caregivers when they ask her to do something, or reported attitude with them. She is still in therapy with Dr. Wilbanks, working on a life book with her. She is getting better. She said, sometimes I just get upset and I say the first thing that comes out of my mouth. So Dr. Wilbanks is working with her on that as well. Becky is doing very well in school. I got to see her last report card. She is passing all of her classes. Overall, she's doing well, not in any other services, not on any medications. Next, we have Augustine. He is still in Amarillo in the same foster home. He has been doing very well there. He did have a bump in the road about a month and a half ago, where he was having issues with re-experiencing his trauma and having nightmares. He was having issues with wetting the bed. We did get him back in therapy on a bi-weekly basis. And so far, he's been doing well with working through those emotions and voicing his traumas instead of bottling them up. He is doing well in school. There have been a few recent reports where he just doesn't want to do his work or he'll have a meltdown at school, but nothing like in the past. He's doing better in that. He recently did get braces. His entire top palate was collapsed. So they said that this is the first round of braces that he will to correct the palate, and then the second round will help with the teeth straightening. He's not on any medications. Overall, he's doing well there. And then last but certainly not least, we have Jeremiah. He is still placed with his Aunt Lenise here in Lubbock. He is doing very well there. He's always such a happy kid, smiling. He just completed soccer. He is in daycare. He's doing well there. There's no concerns. He is taking Miralax and an allergy medication, and those appear to be working for him. Overall, he's up to date on medical and dental. No concerns, and he's not in any services.
Okay, I think from that report, from your written report, and from Costa's report, it sounded like most of the kids are doing fairly well, except for Gabe. Is that what I'm hearing and reading?
Your Honor.
Okay. Gabe was at the QRTP in Lubbock?
He's at the RTC. We were in the process of doing his application to get him approved for the QRTP, but he wasn't in the QRTP yet.
It's the same place, right?
It is, Judge, just to clarify, one part of it is the QRTP and the other part is the RTC. So there are kiddos placed there, and I'll have them correct me if I'm wrong. Some of them are in the QRTP and some are in the RTC, and it is treated separately, although it is the same place location.
This is the second time since the QRTP opened that I've had a kid run. Ms. Penger, let's look into this place.
Yes, ma'am.
St. Francis, look into this place. I've been there. They had a kid run the first week it was open, and now we have another one. I'm very, very concerned about this place and the security.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Eveline, additional concerns regarding the children?
Nothing additional, Your Honor. I really hoped that getting Gabe back to Lubbock was going to be a positive move for him, and that maybe his incidents would reduce because he was so far away from all of his family. But so this is a real disappointing development.
Yep. Casa?
I'm going to start with Jeremiah because he is a doll. He is smart and funny and playful, and he's getting so much taller. Oh my gosh. I'm like, when I see him, I look at him and he's just growing. He's doing really well with his Aunt Lenise. Augie is doing well. Again, like Destiny said, he did have some triggers about a month and a half ago, and they've been working on that. He seems to be doing better. I know every time I see him, he's always happy to see me. Becky and Paloma are same. They're doing well. Paloma has a little crush on a boy, so that's kind of an interesting thing in the process right now. She's opened up about that a little bit. And then Becky is doing well most of the time, but she still has her outbursts. But I think they are getting better than they were, but they're still there. As far as Gabe, I was supposed to go see him on Sunday at 11 o'clock, and he knew that. He asked me if I would bring him something. In other words, he wanted coffee or cookies or something like that I would bring him. And to find out when I called up there Sunday morning that he had just ran Saturday night, I was so disappointed. Because he promised so many people. I asked him to promise his siblings that he wouldn't run away, and he did. He promised Destiny he wouldn't run away. He promised his Aunt Lenise he wouldn't run away. He promised me he wouldn't run away, and yet he did it. So it's very, very disappointing. Gabe's not in the QRTC at this point. He was only in the RTC. So I don't know if it would be better if we did get him to the QRTC, if I'm saying that correctly. Destiny, correct me if I'm wrong, but he was only in the RTC. And there was another boy in there. I had talked to one of the St. Francis workers there. Please forgive me, I don't remember her name, but she said there was another boy in there that was, I think, 15 or 16. And Gabe was starting to watch him and see his disrespect to the placement. And I think he might have been picking up some bad habits. And I asked him if there was something we could do. Could we talk to the boy? You know, what do we do to get this bad influence, more on a positive road, so it's not affecting Gabe in a negative way. Now, I don't know that he had anything to do with Gabe running away this time, because Gabe was left with a female, not a male.
Same thing happened in my other case. Ms. Zapata, any additional concerns regarding your children?
I have a couple things to bring up. First, it's my understanding that Gabe left the facility prior to this run, but came back 20 minutes later. And so there was kind of an issue with him being able to leave and coming. I mean, it's more than just this run. Apparently he left and came back. And it's also my understanding that there was some sort of staffing that Francis wasn't a part of, where they questioned Gabe about what it would take. And I don't know who was there. I don't know that Francis knows who was there. But whoever gave her the information, it was that she was under the impression that when they confronted Gabe about what it would take to keep him in the program and keep him there, he flat out said, I don't want to be in the system anymore. So if he has expressed that, it's not particularly surprising that he's run again. He's 17 now. I don't know how much help you're going to get from law enforcement, because I don't think they'll pick him up. So I don't know. We don't know where to go with Gabe. You know, Francis is under the impression she's not supposed to talk to him or help him or assist him. If she finds out where he is, she's supposed to call CPS right away. So he knows that. So he's not reaching out to her either. So I don't know what to do, but he's 17 years old. I don't know how much more we can force him into. And I do have some questions about Jeremiah, the visits with my client. Apparently, Lanice is sitting in on some of those visits and staying through the entire visit. Now, I don't know what the purpose of that is. I think CPS or St. Francis is under the impression she's only doing it on holidays, but she's doing it more often than that. She does not need to sit in on my client's visitation.
May I speak up, please, Judge?
Let me let Ms. Fouts finish her concerns. Anything else, Ms. Fouts?
Now, the rest of the kids we think are doing fine. So I don't think we have any other concerns.
Okay, and I don't know who asked me.
It's Shalon with CASA.
Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
So the only time Lanice was coming was she was coming to pick up Jeremiah for his soccer. And that was not the entire time. She was only coming toward the end. And the other times I invited her to come on a birthday celebration with the kids because she is family. So, and she still didn't come for the entire time. She only came for a part of the time. So I just wanted to clarify that, because I think that what was said was somebody's been misinformed on the information.
So have you watched every single visit, the entire visit?
I've been to 99% of them.
Hold on. Who is Lanice?
I'm Lanice, Jeremiah's aunt.
Oh, okay.
And I have not been at every visit. I can say that I've never been at every visit. It's only been there a couple of times, and that was like Shalon said. It was only for the birthday, and Gabriel asked for me to come up there, so he wanted to see me. And yes, I was picking up Jeremiah for his soccers, and I was never there the whole visit, because the visit end by the time I get there. So I was never there the whole visit.
Okay. Ms. Hudman, tell me about your concerns on behalf of your clients.
My clients have not expressed any concerns to me, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Pinger, we have a case where we don't have termination and we have parents who are continuing to work services. Are the parents continuing to work services?
Judge, I'm not certain that we've got full. Let me ask Destiny to jump in here and answer that more fully.
So none of the dads are currently working services. I could go through all of it, but to sum it up, they're not. I know that I've made the referrals. I've attempted to find the missing fathers, and then the fathers that we do have contact with. I mean, there's really nothing for them to do. Either they've completed it or they wish not to work services. Ms. Zapata is currently attending individual counseling, but there are some concerns that have been brought up to me by the therapist in there, and she is submitting to a random drug testing.
And Judge, if I may, we did have a mediation with Jolene on this case maybe a month and a half ago. There was some partial agreements with respect to at least one of the fathers. I don't believe there was an agreement with regard to the mother. I'm not certain about that. And so my expectation is this was going to be set for a final hearing again.
That would be
yes, that's also my understanding is that the plan is to move forward to a final hearing on this, Judge.
All right, Ms. Fouts, anything to add as far as your client's participation in services?
No, I mean, I would just ask that Destiny provide me with those therapeutic notes because I don't really have any idea what the concerns of the counselor is. And if the only services they're offering are counseling and random drug tests, she's complying.
All right, Ms. Ward, what are the concerns with Ms. Zapata? Tell me, we're here for a permanency hearing, so tell me why we can't place back with mom today.
There are concerns it's reported that she's still in a relationship. She is reporting to us that he is a friend and nothing more than a friend, but we have seen a marriage license, and we have seen a passport. The passport was issued 3 days before the marriage license was issued. And she's not being honest with us with that, and her therapist as well.
What's the concern with the person that she's in a relationship with?
We have no information on him. There's no background check information that can be ran. I've reached out to our special investigators. He is here from Mexico. We cannot get any background information to see if he has any criminal, CPS, any information on him. That's one of our biggest things.
Okay. Anything else on this case before I set it for a final?
I have a question about that. If you have a picture of the passport, why can't you run a background check?
We've attempted because we go through our accurate searches and we go through our SIs because it's out of country. So we have done the ones here in the US to run a background and a CPS history check in the US, but it's not bringing anything up. But because he's not a US citizen, it's just here with the passport, we have to run it in his home country and we can't get that information.
You have no information that he's a bad guy, basically what you're telling me.
And we had no information he's a good guy either.
All right, I'm going to set this for another permanency hearing and a final hearing January the 11th at 9 a.m.
Your Honor, I will not be back in town. I'll be back in town that day, but not by morning.
Okay, I will set it for another permanency hearing and a final hearing January the 25th.
If they're seeking termination at the final hearing, that's not sufficient time for me to prepare for a termination hearing. I think they told me they were filing new pleadings, but I haven't seen them.
Judge, can I ask to submit a proposed order? Let me visit with Deidre about the progress on that.
Okay.
Ms. Fouts, how much time do you need?
I need 60 days.
Okay, I will set it for another permanency hearing and final hearing February the 15th at 9.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Judge.
Meantime, whatever agreements were worked out with respect to the one dad, I would encourage the parties to go forward with that agreement. Ms. Hudman, do we need to set a final hearing to get that child permanency a little bit more quickly than February the 25th?
That would be Becky and Paloma.
Did you say, Ms. Hudman, what did you say?
I said I don't need additional time because the child is with the intended to be permanent placement, according to my client.
Okay. All right, then another permanency and final hearing will be February the 15th at 9 a.m. Let me have the parties identified. All right, thank
Julie
you.
Anger with the department. Also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist, Jason Zoll. I'm not seeing him, Judge.
All right. The report in this case indicated that Joshua is in an SIL placement in Houston. He's not in school, but he's working part-time at a Waffle House and therefore qualifies for the SIL placement because of his job and that he is doing okay. Joshua has significant mental health issues, and hopefully we are working with him to get him on his medications if he's not. It's not good when the court is stating the report. Ms. Painter, this is the third case on the docket. This is very frustrating.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll set it for another review hearing for, this is going to be another one that I reset next week. So come back to this one.
Judge, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Lindsay Murray is in a final on Judge Webb and has been given a continuance. She has 3 minutes if we could get to Castillo. Sorry.
Okay. We have the parties identified.
Julie Panger with the department, also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Amanda Faulkner.
Lindsay Murray on behalf of the mother, present and ready.
Terry Morgeson, attorney ad litem.
Katie Roberts, CASA.
All right, Ms. Murray, I know that you need to go, so tell me concerns from your client regarding Loreno.
Well, I have some concerns on the CASA report that they're asking this child in front of the grandmother if she wants to see her mother and saying no, that the child is saying no. I do not believe that is the CASA's job to do that. This child is not the age that should take place. It absolutely should not take place in front of the grandmother. This child has had a strong relationship with the grandmother. We still have concerns that this is the case where this grandma has been in, she's been out. When she gets mad, she wants to give the kid back, and people are literally begging her to keep this child. So my concerns and my client's concerns at this time is the inappropriateness of CASA's questioning of this child at the age of this child and in front of this grandmother who throughout the life of this case has tried to return this child several times.
Okay, Ms. Murray, it sounds like we've got significant issues in this case. Do I need to reset this hearing for next week? I don't want to make you late for Judge Webb.
Yes, Your Honor, I would, because I'm going to ask that report be stricken from the court filing.
Okay, well, I'm not going to make a ruling on that. I'm just going to reset today's hearing to next week.
At what time, Judge?
I don't know. I'll send you an email.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Wasn't anticipating this, so.
Sorry, I apologize.
That's okay.
Thank
I don't
you,
want to make you late for Judge Webb.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead.
Judge.
I will reset today's hearing. Everybody else is free to go, and I'll send an email on the date and
Julie
time.
Panger with the department, also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Kristen Ainwell.
Linda Eveling ad litem.
Ms. Garcia, you're free to go. I'm going to reset your hearing. Okay. Tell me about Juliana and Camry. Where are we placed, and how are we doing?
Juliana is still placed in a kinship home right now in Lubbock. She's doing really well. She's doing good in school. She gets A's and B's. She's not doing any sports right now. She does want to try out for softball in January. This was the home that had to wait the 10-year mark for licensing, and that date is actually coming up December 14th. So they are going to go through St. Francis to start that process in a few days. And we have redactions already. We have HESEC for that case. Everything is complete. She will qualify for subsidy, so we'll just get that done. And Juliana's not in it. She's not in any medications. There's no medical concerns. She does have asthma. She is seeing Shalana for counseling bi-weekly right now at Texas Boys Ranch. But other than that, she's doing really well in the home. Camry, we did have an incident with Camry. When Camry turned 17, she did leave Chol. She did not return to placement at Chol. She wanted to go to her aunt's house, which was Jennifer Hargrove. We had approved that as an unauthorized placement pending a home study. I actually got that home study back today, but I did receive word this morning that Camry had left that home as well. I am in contact with Camry right now. She has been texting me all morning. She did give me an address to where she's at. She did say that she doesn't want to go back to the unauthorized placement of the aunt's home because an incident had happened over the weekend where that aunt had assaulted one of her kids in the home. So Camry and her cousin had left. She gave me an address. I'm going to go see her after this court hearing today. She told me that she wants to go live in Kansas with her other aunt, Johnny, though. So I'm going to staff that with my program director, and we're going to kind of see what we can do from there just so we don't have her as a runaway, because I do know where she's at right now. Camry is on medication. What was that? Sorry, ma'am.
Where is she?
She is at a friend's house on 86th Street right now. She does have her medications with her. She is on 4 different medications for blood flow, heartburn, depression. She doesn't have any of her belongings, though, which she had asked me if she if I could take her to go get them. So I have to staff this, and we're gonna see what we can do from there. And I'm gonna go see her just to make sure she's okay. She did tell me that she's safe, but she just doesn't feel comfortable going back to that home.
I read in the report that she's interested in an SIL placement. Is she willing to stay in care long enough to be able to get into an SIL placement?
Not anymore, ma'am. She was until I want to say November 24th is when everything changed. The day she turned 17, she had texted me and asked if she can leave care.
Tell me about school with Camry. What grade is she in?
She is in the 11th grade. She was going to Roosevelt. We did withdraw her, and she's in Cooper right now. She still has good grades. She still has the credits that she needs to graduate early. She's still doing really well in school. It is concerning right now due to how she is telling me that she wants to go to Kansas. So I'm just trying to figure all this out as it's kind of coming to me.
Is she going to school?
She is, yes. She just didn't go today.
Is the friend that she's with, are they a possible placement option so that she can finish school?
I can find that out. I don't have any information on them until I go over there and talk to them, because she only gave me the address right now.
Okay, well, let's explore that option. I certainly think I'm going to be real flexible regarding placements. She's 17. She's in school doing well, wanting to graduate early. So let's get as creative as we can and see if we can keep her in the Lubbock area, at least until she graduates high school.
Yes, ma'am. I can look into that.
All right, Miss Evelyn?
Nothing really to add, Your Honor. I guess that's a new development. If she could hang in and stay in an approved placement, whether it's here or with the aunt, and she got an approved home study, maybe she would reconsider the SIL type placement and access more of her benefits if she'll hang around long enough to age out of care. So, don't know.
Yeah. Let's make sure she understands all, because she did PAL, right?
Yes, she did. She completed it.
Let's make sure she understands all of the benefits, and let's go through them one by one with her. Make sure she understands everything she's leaving on the table if she stays on run or leaves the state or anything like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Because the report indicates, and I think the history with Camry is that she's wanted to be a lawyer. She's very bright in school, and
she is.
A whole lot of potential with Camry that I've seen with her, and I think we're on a really dangerous path to be wasting all of that potential right now. So if we need any sort of circle of support meeting, if I need to get a CASA involved and we need to do their program with the CFE, whatever I need to do to keep Camry on track, let's do it.
Yes, ma'am. I will talk to her about that as soon as I see her today and bring up everything and try to keep, I want to try to keep her in care also and keep her in Lubbock. I think she was doing really well. She does want to be a lawyer. She has plans and big dreams, and I want her to see that through.
What do we know the trigger? What was the incident? Why did she leave?
The aunt had apparently assaulted her 16-year-old daughter that was also living in the home. Camry had sent me pictures of bruises that the girl had on her, and Camry stated that she didn't feel comfortable after witnessing that incident happen over the weekend.
And she's not actually a relative. She was the very first placement these girls went to when they came into care, and it was temporary until they went to Florida with the uncle.
Okay. All right, Miss Evelyn, are you aware of any other relatives that might be an option?
No, since you mentioned this ad in Kansas, that's first I've heard of any other relatives that might be an option.
Okay.
Again, if you could finish what she's doing, I think that'd be the best.
All right, I'll do an ICPC home study on the aunt. I kind of doubt that's going to get done anytime soon. So if it's better, if we speak with the aunt's willing to come get her. And we've done background checks on the aunt, and the aunt we don't see any problems with the aunt. It may be better to dismiss and let the aunt come get her. Better than being on run.
I have contacted the aunt. I did talk to her this morning. She did give me an address, and I let her know that I would call her after the court hearing today, because she did text me over the weekend as well.
Okay. Ms. Banger, if I need to do another hearing on this one, let me know.
I will. And I just, Kristen, if you'll keep me updated on on what's going on to make sure that we get it handled the right way through the court part. Just keep
Yes,
me
ma'am.
updated on it. Thank
I
you.
will.
And I'll let you know, Judge, if we need to set that.
Okay, I will set this for another review hearing April the 8th at 10. But if we need to have another hearing sooner, if options come open that we need to have a hearing on, or y'all just let me know if we need to do something sooner than April the 8th.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
right now, we'll set it April 8th at 10.
Julie Panger with the department, also present as St. Francis Permanency Specialist, Paige McNeil.
Dr. Linda Evelyn, attorney ad litem.
Matt Morrow, attorney for the father. I'm on the docket docket this morning for this. I think I've been discharged though, Judge.
Well, I don't think I've discharged you just yet because neither of the parents' rights have been terminated.
Okay.
Okay, Axel is still with an aunt, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, how is Axel doing?
Axel is doing fantastic. He's 2 years old. He is enjoying playing with his aunt. He enjoys playing peekaboo and enjoys watching various cartoons and loves dancing and spinning. He's doing extremely well still while being placed with his aunt.
Okay, I did read in the report that we had some recent behaviors with tantrums and that sort of thing. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And he is in therapy for that?
Yes, ma'am.
Also in speech therapy?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Miss Evelyn, any additional concerns regarding Axel?
No, I'm not sure, but what we need to be looking at a different alternative for the case, but given Mr. McKinney's situation.
What is Mr. McKinney's situation?
I believe he's still on a most wanted list here in Texas.
Sorry, Your Honor. He is currently incarcerated right now in Jasper, Texas.
In where?
Jasper, Texas.
In TDCJ?
Yes.
Okay, I had looked maybe a week or so ago. I didn't see him listed, so maybe
I checked this morning, and that is where he is currently in.
Okay.
All right. This was a case where we had an agreement at a final hearing to transfer PMC to the current placement in Arkansas once they got licensed and a 6-month mark ended, which was in September. So we're due for a transfer of PMC if that's the plan. If we have a dad in TDC and we need to go in a different direction, let me know if I just need to set it for another final hearing.
We're ready, Judge. If you can set for a final, we are hopefully finishing up on getting the parents served. That's what the problem has been. But we are prepared to transfer PMC to this aunt.
Okay, I will set it for another final hearing, February the 22nd at 9.
Thank you,
And
Judge.
set for the permanency hearing, February 22nd.
Julie
at
Panger
9.
with the department. Also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Destiny Swartz.
Matt Morrow, attorney ad litem, President ready, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Swartz, tell me about Damascus. We're still with the adoptive cousins. How are we doing?
Darnell, I'm covering for Taylor this morning. He is reported to be doing great there. He's walking and starting to talk some. He's not in any therapies at this time. He is overall developmentally on target. There's no concerns with medical or dental. I know the placement is waiting to be licensed. Taylor told me that they just had a small house fire in one of the rooms. Everyone is safe. They just did lose some of their belongings due to the that fire, but we did reach out and get some donations for them. So they are having to look for a new house before they can finish that licensing process. Hensig and redaction have both been requested. His birth certificate was also filed and now it's complete. They're just waiting to get his social.
Okay, very good. Good report. Mr. Morrow, any concerns with Damascus?
No, ma'am.
All right. I know we just had this final hearing not long ago, so are we concerned with any sort of barriers or holdups in the adoption at all?
None that were reported, no. other than the having to look for a new house now. But
I understand. That's very frustrating. Okay, I will set another review hearing April the 8th at 11.
The department, also
Thank y'all.
present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Kristen Anilo.
Jim Shaw, attorney ad litem.
Okay, Mary is with a grandmother, is that right?
Yes, she is in the kinship home with her grandmother still. And then our 3 younger ones are in the Sparks foster home.
All right, tell me, let's start with Mary. How is she doing?
She's doing really good. In the home, she's doing well. She's been listening a lot better to her grandma. She's been helping around. She is struggling in school a little bit. A few months ago, she was failing 4 classes, and right now she's failing 3. So she was able to get 1 class up. She is currently on a 504 plan, but she's struggling in math, reading, and science right now. I have called her counselor, so we're going to kind of see what else we can do with that. But Mary does struggle with actually raising her hand and asking questions when she doesn't understand something. So I think that's kind of our main concern right there. She's up to date on medical and dental, though. She just had her dental appointment last week. She's doing good. She's not on any medications. And she kind of enjoys hanging out with her friends on the weekend and being with her family. They do have visits still on Mondays, so she does get to see her siblings and her mom still. Dolores is doing really well also. Dolores, Jojo, and Jose are all in the Sparks home. Dolores attends She is approaching target right now. She does well in school, but it might be too early to tell if she's behind or not. She is attending Angels of Care in-home therapy for occupational and speech. She loves to draw, play with her brothers, play dress up. She loves to have books read to her. She is attending counseling right now twice a week with Brenda Wilbanks. And then Jojo and Jose are going to DBS Kids Daycare during the week. Both Jose and Jojo both had their tongue ties lasered off this past month, but they both recovered well. There was no concerns there. They are both up to date on medical and dental. Jojo is an energetic little boy. He loves to run around, get into the cabinets, play with the pots and pans. He's on ECI services for occupational speech and nutrition. And then Jose is also receiving ECI with PT, and he is now crawling, sitting up on his own. He's able to lift himself up onto furniture. He's sleeping well at night. He is eating solid foods right now, as well as formula. Overall, all of the kids are doing pretty well in their placements.
Okay, let's go back to Mary. Do we think the issues in school are learning issues maybe that we haven't picked up on yet? Is there a problem with a disorder or something that we need to figure out?
Not at this time, I don't think. I've talked to Mary about it, and Mary states that she either does not care or she does not want to raise her hand. She's too nervous to ask questions, too nervous to talk in front of other students. There was bullying issues. She did have problems with other kids bullying her, which that's when we did get a hold of the counselor and we got that resolved. We did switch her schedule around so she wasn't running into those kids anymore in the hallway. But mainly from what I've gotten and from what her grandmother has gotten and the school, it's Mary doesn't want to do the work right now.
All right. Did you say we were in therapy?
She is not in therapy right now. She actually, she was in therapy with Bo Johnson, and then she told Bo Johnson to leave and not come back. So right now I'm trying to get her into a counselor with a female to see if she's more comfortable that way.
We need to address these academic concerns somehow. And if it's not a learning issue and rather a behavioral issue, we got to figure out in therapy how to get her on track academically. I don't think 504s are going to help if it's just a apathy concern.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Shaw, any additional concerns?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, tell me where we are with respect to these 2 adoptions.
Right now for kinship, Grandma has stated that she does not want to go through with the adoption because Grandma only has a 3rd grade level of reading and writing, so she cannot understand the PMC test is what she stated, but she does want to take PMC of Mary. But Grandma doesn't believe that she is able to actually go through with the licensing and be able to complete it because of where she stands with her reading and her writing. And then with the Sparks home, I have requested redactions. We're requested the HESEG. We are waiting for the year mark for when the kids were placed in the home for them to obtain an attorney. The kids will qualify for subsidies, so we'll get that going once we pass that January 24th mark.
Okay, we had this final hearing a month ago. Did we not ask the grandmother about this concern? I don't understand why the plan changed as soon as the final hearing was over, it seems like. Did we not talk about this before the final hearing? All of that was part of the agreements at the final hearing for grandma to adopt. And then 1 month later, we have a completely different plan. That's not fair to the parents. What happened?
It's not fair. And the entire time I have talked to grandma about this and we have expressed our concerns. And at the time of the final hearing, she did want to go through with adoption. I actually just received the email from the kinship worker last week saying that she admitted this to the kinship worker, but she hasn't talked to me about it yet. So in my mind, I did think that she wanted to adopt still, but she had told the worker last week that she doesn't believe that she could actually go through with it because of her not understanding it fully.
Judge, we can absolutely sit down and visit with her about that and make sure, because I think there are probably ways we can make sure that that's something that can be done. If it is a problem, we'll let the court know, but I certainly think we can have more visits with her to figure out what the deal is, especially if that's part of an agreement.
Yes, and it was mainly the proficiency test that she believes that she couldn't pass is what she had told the kinship worker.
I mean, that's going to be an issue for either licensing for adoption or PCA. So all of a sudden, Mary gets no benefits that were part of the agreement at the final hearing. So this is very problematic. Yeah, let's visit with the grandmother and see if we can make her think about this again and see if we can figure out a way to get her back on track for licensing. This is not good.
We will, Judge. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. And we'll also get her involved with the benefits folks, make sure she's aware of what all is going on. But I think we can work with her. If this has been part of the plan all along, we can certainly work to see what we can get done so that adoption can be consummated.
I'll see her next week and I'll talk to her about it also. And I'll see if I could find anything like resource-wise to maybe help her through the difficulties that she's having. Or like on the proficiency, I can try to find like any resources that they have out there. I know that Catholic Charities is one of them, so we can get in touch with them also.
Okay. Do the kids get to see each other? Does Mary get to see her siblings?
Yes, they do have visits. They have 2-hour visits weekly right now.
Are those going to continue after at least the 3 youngest are adopted?
Yes, and once the 3 youngest are adopted, the Sparks family also wants to keep Mary and Grandma in their lives as a routine, like holiday sleepovers and phone calls. So that will definitely continue.
Okay. Anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right. We'll have another review hearing April the 8th at 11. Have the parties identified?
Julie Payer with the department, also President St. Francis Permanency Specialist Destiny Swartz.
Jana Clift-Williams, I'm the attorney ad litem for Rhea.
Carrie Morgeson, I'm the attorney for the placement.
Okay, tell me about Rhea. How's she doing? Same foster home?
She is in the same foster home. She is doing very well there. She recently had a birthday and she is finally 1 year old. She is such a happy baby. Her smile it makes my entire day. If I'm having a bad day, I'm like, hey, can I have pictures of her? Because it melts your heart. She is crawling. She loves playing with the dogs in the home. She is sick pretty frequently. She is actually scheduled to have tubes put in her ears this month. The foster family was wonderful at working their magic and getting her in with an ENT. I know the first ENT that they spoke with said that they couldn't get her in until like February. And of course, Tracy worked her magic and got her in this month. And we already have that scheduled to get her tubes done, which will hopefully help with the illnesses and infections. She is currently in skills therapy. At first, she was having some issues eating solid foods. Since then, she's gotten better with that. So she's just working on her skills. She's not currently in daycare. She was, but due to the upcoming surgery with the tubes, she's not in daycare. There's a lot of illnesses going around and they don't want to risk her getting sick before that. Overall, she's doing well though.
Okay. Very good. Ms. Cook-Williams, any concerns regarding Rhea?
No, Your Honor. She did turn 1. She had a wonderful birthday party. The foster parents who are here had received a suggestion from ECI to have her a play set, and foster dad was putting it together when I went to visit. It was wonderful. This enormous little play set where she can crawl, and it's very colorful. I have no concerns whatsoever. She's in a wonderful home. They're ready to make this her forever home, and I believe we might even be scheduled for an adoption on December the 28th.
Is that right, Ms. Morrison?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I see the adoptive parents of Rhea smiling over there anytime they say anything good about her. So you folks want to unmute yourself? Anything to add regarding Rhea?
Everything they said is correct. She is such a happy baby. She's just, we named her Abigail, actually, and it means the father's joy or the cause of joy, and it just suits her perfectly. And she's not only sitting up and crawling too, she's pulling herself up and she's learning to cruise now. So we're right in between that stage of crawling and walking and pulling out the hair because she's in everything. But really no concerns. I think once we get those ears fixed, she's going to be really good. I did pull her from daycare, as Destiny mentioned, to keep her out of those illnesses. And we feel like she's at a place now where we don't need as much help. You know, it takes a village. And so I think this is going to be great. We're really looking forward to December 28th and seeing you and celebrating this in a final way. So.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to all of that too. It's going to be a happy day.
Thank you.
If for some really weird reason we need another hearing, I'm going to set it for April the 8th at 11. But I think we will get this done for your family on December 28th. All right. We'll be adjourned. Thank you.
With the department, also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Laura Horton.
Greg Johnson, attorney ad litem for Dylan.
Okay. Miss, is it Horton?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Horton, tell me about Dylan.
Dylan, he's attending school. He's on track to graduate in May. When he graduates, he does want to join the Marines. Just loves music and sports and hanging out with his friends. He's still waiting on his Medicaid card so that he can get his ID and Social Security card. No concerns with, he doesn't have any concerns with this placement. Wants to remain where he's at, and he's doing well.
Where is his placement?
He's placed with a friend's father, one of his friends.
Okay. Did he technically leave care when he turned 18?
I'm sorry?
Did he leave care when he turned 18?
He's still...
Yes, he's in child independence right now.
Okay. All right. Is there anything that Dylan needs?
No, ma'am. Not at this time.
Does he have a driver's license?
No, he does not. He's waiting on. He has to have 2 forms of ID to get his driver's license, so he's still waiting. He has his birth certificate and a picture of his Social Security card, but he does not have his. He said he was waiting on his Medicaid card, which the previous worker had requested a replacement, and it was supposed to be mailed to him.
Does he have an ID?
No, ma'am. He does not.
Okay, that's an easy fix. Let's get him into the DMV and get an ID for him.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson?
No concerns. Dylan's doing fine. He's got his plan set. Hopefully he'll hold to that.
Okay.
I have no worries about him.
Okay, I will set another services review hearing April the 8th.
With the department, also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Rhea Alvarez.
McKenna Shelton Casa.
Linda Ebling ad litem. Sorry, I'm trying to get them connected here.
That's okay. All right, tell me about Kaylee. She is in an RTC in Grand Prairie, is that right?
That is correct, Your Honor. This has
How
been
is she doing?
apologies. It's been a very eventful 2 weeks for Kaylee, a lot to report on in these 2 weeks. I thought I might provide a brief timeline just to make sense of what happened. So 3 weeks ago, Kaylee let me know she had a boyfriend and she wanted to be alone with that boyfriend. She is 13. That is not normalcy. And she has been having some behaviors like elopement at school. So it was not approved by the RTC nor my supervisor. And so when told no, a week later, Kaylee did run. She was gone for less than 24 hours, but she did come back the next day, very obviously under an influence. In that time, Kaylee did report a very serious